Hey guys, this is Startup Behind the Scenes. I remind you that this is non-commercial project and the only objective is to share my experience with you to make sure you don't do the silly mistakes I did and that you can create and do great projects, create great software and really eliminate the noise and all the dust around you and just be much more productive. So let's start. Today we're going to discuss a very important question is a business partnership. How to choose a business partner. So the first thing you need to know about the business partner, and actually before I start, let me tell you that the advice I'm going to share actually is relevant for all ages. If you're 20, 30, 40, 50, don't think that it's because you lack of maturity, you may be bad at selecting business partner or vice versa. It has nothing to do with this. I'm going to share with you 3 points, maybe 4, if you have time, that will really show you that it has nothing to do with luck. It's a pure analysis and it's a very pragmatic way you can work so that you do not do a business partner selection mistake. So first thing you need to ask yourself is, why do you need a business partner? Is it a skill? Is it connection? Is it money? If it's not one of those 3 things, then I think you may first want to see a coach, a shrink, or just ask someone more experienced because maybe you're just lacking confidence. Maybe you are lacking, maybe you're shy. What's stopping you from doing it yourself, right? If you're skilled, if you have good connections and money, you don't really need business partner. You can be a boss and just hire people. But right, for some reason, you want to share part of your idea with someone, right? That's what's business partnership, right? You're literally building something together. You're sharing the pie, and you need to ask yourself, why can't you make your own pie? What is it that's you needing, right? So yeah, very important. Not skill, not connection, not money. What, right? And it's a really interesting way to actually grow up as a person. We all evolve, even older of us, like me, an old lady. And I ask these things myself all the time. And if I go to the new unknown land, of course I would need a business partner. I don't know, if I go to rocket science, right? Or I want to build an AI that was never done before, right? Of course I would need someone, and that would be a good answer. But if I need them because I'm scared to talk in public, or I think I'm not sure of myself, right? So this is something I rather work with a coach, therapist, or a friend who is mature and wise, if you like. The second very important thing, you need to figure out if your business partner is reliable, right? So if they have a skill, can they actually give it to you? Right? They may be excited, you maybe have a drink, and they say, oh, I'm absolutely want to do that. And they can only work, I don't know, 1 hour a month. That's not going to work, right? So it's not reliable. And the same about the money. Do they have access to the money they're going to provide, right? This happened to me so many times that people just have no access to money. So you think they're rich, but someone else in the family manages the money, and vice versa. Poorer people with like a day job may be much more reliable because it's their money, it comes to their account, so they are willing to invest, and actually they may be more motivated to quit the job, right, to contribute to the project, so they will be working more and giving in keeping the promises, right? This is really important. Unfortunately, there is no other way than uh, analyzing the behavior to understand if someone is reliable or not. Do they keep the promise? Do they over deliver, or do they over promise in general, right? You can also give them a try, right? You can say, okay, let's try something for 2 months and then see, because sometimes people just don't know. People overestimate themselves. I'm sorry. So don't be um, don't be naive. Don't think that everyone knows so well what they're good at. They manage their time really well. People just like sometimes go for the hype, and they really don't understand the impact that may have in their life. But if you are founding member of the team and you really want someone who will help you build something, you need a reliable person, right, with the skill, connections, or money. Then Another very important thing, and people forget about that quite often, it's a legal part, right? I don't say you need to surround yourself with lawyers, put like 5-page long contracts for every partnerships, but at least write something down. Think, what will happen if I leave? What will happen if you leave? How much part we gonna have? Because even if you don't wanna, let's say, legalize the relationship, if you go and meet an investor, it's really nice to see that there is an alignment. So those discussions, don't wait. Don't wait till month 3, month 6. Start immediately. So the job, the money, and the connection needs to be delivered immediately. So is the idea of how it's all going to look. And I know it's hard in the beginning, but that's exactly why I'm making this video, because it's only at the beginning that you can make it in a way that will help you in 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So in order to help you guys, I also made a framework, which is early stage startup evaluation framework. It's basically combines different good practices, but no one really does it except some guys who had multi startups all the time. So I'm gonna share it with you. You have a link. Please hear me out. I need to explain how it works so that you can interpret it in a good way. So the first part, you need to understand that the pie slicing methodology, although a lot of people don't like it because, oh, it's like counting hours, counting money, but ultimately, what shall you use to estimate, right, how much value is created, right? It's a good practice, right? Everyone who contributes to the project, put the hours in, put the value in. Let's say every client they deliver equals $200 or whatever, right? But at least you can somehow measure that and create this transparency culture, right? So that everyone knows that more they work, more value they're going to have. There is of course an exception if someone had a brilliant genius idea and have some unique skill that's invaluable, but that's also something you can discuss, right? You may be a founder that's just good at sales, right? And you'll put all your money and all your time into this while your other business partner is good at making products and they will code all the time. That's fine, right? Maybe when you're going to be selling your company, the code will be worth more than your sales contact, but still it's good to have this discussion, and at least so that you appreciate each other's work and that you can see that it can be valued. So once that is sorted, it's really nice to discuss about general values. Oh, and here, this is the biggest discovery for me. Everyone is just absolutely unaware of their own behavior, right? So people would tell me I can work on the weekend, they would never do. People would tell me, yeah, I'm good at giving a feedback, they would never give a feedback. They would just think it, think it, sorry. So why do you need to do that? You need to do that so that you can evaluate it for yourself, right? So someone who wrote, I can do this, I can do that. Yes, that's part of my value. And then you see that it's not happening, that's okay. You don't need to confront them if you don't want to. You are not the mom, but at least you'll have a good idea of who you're dealing with. And they may be great people, but not everyone is maybe at the same level of evolution as you, or same level, sorry, of sales self-awareness. That's really important. Then the third part of the methodology is the skill gap evaluation. This is, in my opinion, but that just works for me, is the most important part. Because if you assume that startup is built on your skills, your money, your contacts, your common contact, right? Contacts, it's extremely important to define from day one what are the skills. You make a list of all the skills needed for the startup: technical, legal, product design. If there are gaps in sales, you need immediately start looking for someone who can help you set it up, or just one of you, if you both, I don't know, developers, maybe one of you want to go and start to be more in sales, otherwise it's not going to work. Otherwise you need third business or fourth business partner who will make it work. Remember, you are not doing it as a whole, right? You are trying to build something. So if the skills are missing, you will need to recruit, right? And that's really important. So the very important part about the skills, and that's the same thing about the value. If someone says they're good at something, please, I beg you, ask to provide examples of experiences, right? You don't need to challenge like and say, oh, I don't think you're good, or you didn't really do that. Person can tell you themselves, a bit like a job interview without being job interview, friendly conversation. Every skill that they say they are can perform anonymously, sorry, autonomously, needs a sort of a clarification, right? Why you say that? Super important. I cannot emphasize how important that is, because having this conversation will also help you to determine how much person understands themselves, right? And you also should be honest. And it's fine if you will find, I don't know, that technically you both are quite mediocre. At least you'll know this, you'll have this example, and then you can move on. This will really put such a great basis for your collaboration. You'll thank me later. And the third part, sorry, fourth part is it's a performance review. It's a basic thing of what did you achieve in the last 3 months and what you plan to achieve next 3 months, 1 month, whatever. Here, I really urge you to work on your ego and be really honest. You may discover that you actually underperforming what you promised, and that's fine. But that also rings a bell for you, right? Is it what? Is it that you didn't know how to do? You had other things going on? Are you just a lazy dude, right? That happens. We all are you procrastinating. And from that perspective, you can also learn a lot of things about yourself. Having a software startup is the best therapy, literally. It will uncover all your weaknesses, all your strengths. And if you see during this performance review that actually this month it's you that didn't do what you promised, just change something, change the way you work. I can give you example. Today I'm considered to be very well organized, and for the last 2 weeks in my one of my startups, I was just sit on the tech calls and discuss the same issue that I was supposed to fix last week. I was supposed to rewrite some prompts for our agents, and that was a ring bell for me, right? I do this performance review in my head all the time. And I was ashamed to actually kind of having a reputation of someone who delivers and then sit there for 2 weeks. Imagine blocking people from testing because I either forgot or had no time, I, and the solution was that I reorganized my week, that I did it a bit differently. That's going to work for next 3 months. Maybe next 4 months it has to change because my priorities will change. It's perfectly fine. All I'm saying, make sure that you are able to have this open, friendly, constructive conversation with your future or existing business partner. And the last closing sentence, and please hear me out, if they are not feeling comfortable, if they have issues hearing you out, if although you did it in a nice way, that's not your problem. You need to understand that you're not gonna cure all your business partner's problem, and you don't want to spend time on this, even if it's your best friend, right? They may drag you down big time, and you're gonna still be here with their problems because you couldn't do all the things the way you were supposed to do them, right? If you're capable of figuring that out early, you are the winner. Good luck.